Hello and welcome to this video. This is going to be a short video really. I wanted to talk about mindfulness. It seems to be a word or a technique or something that's just mentioned an awful lot now, about being mindful. And I'd like to just give my spin, as it were, on mindfulness. My understanding or my take on mindfulness is about recognizing the here and now about something. It's sometimes referred to as living in the moment. And what do I mean by that? So there are people, and we all have an element of these things that I'm going to mention. So we have on the one side people who tend to live in the past. So I'm talking figuratively, okay? They live in the past. Oh, it was so much better back in the 80s. Oh, it was so much better. The meal we had the last time was so much better, and everything is compared about the past. And so people tend to keep comparing everything that they have now with the past. They're dissatisfied with what they've got now because for them it was better in the past. Okay, so there are people who tend to think that way, that everything was better in the past. It was better back then. It was better when we did X. Last year was better than this year, or last year is going to be, last year was better than it's going to be next year, or nothing can ever be as good as it was the last time, And so that's a form of thinking. Now, there are probably technological terms, and I just don't like using technological terms for these things. But let's just say that these are people that like to live in the past. Okay, they predominantly compare everything with the past. Then we have the other side, which is everyone who likes to think that everything's going to be better in the future. Okay, well, next week's going to be better than this week. Tomorrow is going to be better than today. Oh, well, the next holiday is going to be better than the last holiday. They are predominantly thinking that everything is going to be better in the future. Oh, it'll be better next year. Everything's going to be better. Oh, I'm going to earn more money next year. Oh, I'll do that next time. And so this is the kind of language that they tend to use, where everything is all future-based. My understanding about mindfulness, and I believe a lot because I study a lot of belief systems around the world and have done for the last 30, 40 years, that mindfulness really is about now. It's accepting what is happening right now in the moment. It's this part. And while I'm saying that there are people who think in the past all the time and people who always think in the future all the time, there are we are all of those things predominantly. We have reflections on the past and we look forward to the future, and there are people who live right in the moment. For them that's bigger. Living right in the moment now, and I believe that to be mindfulness. Mindfulness is about sort of a balance between what's happened in the past, predominantly more what's happening right now, and accepting everything for what it is right now. And then we like to think about the future, which is good. So it's like an acceptance. It's an acceptance that the situation that you are right in now is the best situation that you could be in, or that you have an opportunity to change it. That although you might think that you haven't had things as good as they were in the past, that what you've got right now is actually really where you want to be. That you are accepting everything that's happening to you right now, and that you have the opportunity to change it if you feel you need to change it better for the future. But it's that I think it's widening that spectrum. You could have equal amounts of past, present and future, but I believe that mindfulness is actually widening that spectrum. You can't do anything about the past. You can change the future, but if you accept what's good for you, so if you were to, I'm looking at the screen so that I get the proportions right. So, you know, if you were, if this is where you feel you are, you know, you don't feel that your present position or your present, you know, on this scale here. So you might have more more future inclinations than you have your present, and you may not have so much about the past. You may disregard the past or want to forget it. But I believe mindfulness is about kind of widening that spectrum in the now, you know, remembering the past and enjoying it as a good memory and such like. There's not a lot you can do about it, but also, you know, you look forward to the future, allow some space to change and improve and such like for the future. But mindfulness, I think, is about accepting this spectrum. It's about accepting everything for what it is right now and knowing that you are happy in the space and that everything is okay, that everything is where you want it to be, you know. And if you don't feel that way, then you have the opportunity to change. You have the opportunity within this spectrum to change things, you know. Why isn't it? You know, it could be that if you're not really very happy that you are like this. You know, you could be over here somewhere where the future doesn't really have an awful lot of importance, but the past has an awful lot of importance for you. So it's kind of, you know, learn to sort of push that aside. You can't do anything about the past. It's been and gone. It's been experienced. You've learned from it. You're now here, you know. So, I've got this rather nice book about, you know, the pocketbook of mindfulness. There's some very, very interesting things in here. So how can you improve mindfulness? Well, mindfulness is very much about acceptance. It's about the willingness to accept where you are right now. You know, that you're happy with your job. That the job is actually what you've got right now. You know, even if you're not particularly happy with the work that you're doing, that's the situation. It's accepting that is what's happening right now for you. And it's that acceptance which can change things. It's the change that makes the difference. It's the difference that makes the change for you. And I think this is quite interesting. There's so many quotes in here. I could just go on and on and on. But mindfulness sharpens your concentration, which means that not only are you likely to be calmer at work, you're also likely to be more productive. Because you're not allowing the past to interfere and you're not allowing the future to influence what's going on for you. You're just accepting what is happening, and it allows you to just, okay, I really accept what's going on. I like, you know, this is the situation that I'm in. I'm going to make the best of it. You know, it's that kind of acceptance and that kind of attitude to have that can just change things for you in a very subtle way. But it stops you from worrying. It stops you having fear about either the past or the future. You know, you just get on and do it and say, right, okay, well, this is where I am right now. It doesn't happy. I'm happy where I am. And it's like I say, if you're not, if you allow sort of the mindfulness of the moment to allow, you know, I'm getting my words twisted here, but if you allow that to just be where you are right now, you can then see where you want to maybe want to make changes. You know, all of a sudden you're kind of stepping out of either a future or a past influence, and you're seeing the right now, and you're stepping out of it, and you're taking a look, and you're thinking, okay, this isn't exactly what I want right now, but I can change. What can I change? Oh yeah, I can change this. I can change that situation. Oh, all of a sudden you've got more options. You know, it's everything. So, you know, I mean, there's just so many things. It says, if we do not find anything pleasant, at least we shall find something new. That's also quite good, because you're stepping out of that sphere of sort of feeling like you're being crushed by, you know, the now is being crushed and limited by the past and possibly the future, wherever that may be on the timeline for you. So giving yourself that space and pushing those things, those influences, those filters, that kind of noise that's coming from the past or the future, it gives you that space to think. you know, and you can then see on that timeline where you are, you know, where you're happy. What do you want to change for the future? Again, letting go of the past, you know, just viewing it, just looking at it over there and thinking, well, okay, yeah, I wasn't in a good place back there, but I certainly learned a lot of things. I learned that relationship, that type of relationship, that type of person, that job, that situation didn't really work for me. It didn't sit well for me. And you could still be in that situation, but at least now you can change what's going to happen for you in the future. So I think doing a sort of a daily, I mean, this is the whole point really, I think, of this book is kind of an affirmation. It's a book of affirmations. It's kind of a book of, you know, this is the actual book here. It's there's lots of these things around. I mean, they are sayings that are, you know, that have come from different people and philosophical people and poets and all sorts of other people. And you can make up you can make up your own sort of mindfulness. And there are themes in here as well, either to do with work, love, lifestyle, and such like, that you can sort of read these things. You know, that just sow seeds in your psychology that allow your brain to just think, okay, you know, this is actually really quite a good situation. You know, this is something for me to think about. You want to start thinking about, you know, something that you want to change right now and to make it better in the future, then this is the opportunity to do it. You know, keep telling your brain things are going to get better. You know, things can be changed. I can accept a wider range of things. You know, I don't have to keep living in the past anymore. I can live and accept everything that I like, you know, right now. You know, there's sort of other things. Through concentration and meditation, you become the boss of your mind and gain the ability to tell it when to be active and when to stay silent. And that's from somebody called Remez Sasson. You cannot depend on your eyes when your imagination is out of focus. That's Mark Twain. You know, these things just get you to think. You know, it's like you plant these sayings and such like, these thoughts into your subconscious, and you let your subconscious work these things out. And it being mindful just allows you space to give your brain time to think and work things out for you. And as I say, they're like little seeds. You know, they're positive affirmations about you as a person, about what you want to be able to do, what you can take for yourself and benefit yourself, what you can give to others and benefit others. You know, that's all part and parcel of being mindful of who you are. So anyway, that's just my short take on mindfulness. It's a big subject. I'm not a guru. This is just my brief take on mindfulness as a way of being in the moment, as a way of being free of influences, of being, you know, being manipulated, being controlled by things that are actually out of your control, as it were, but you're allowing them to control you. So again, you know, it's that giving yourself the space in that timeline, in the past, here's the future, this is the place that you want to be. You know, you don't want to be like that. You want to be like that, so that you've got more control. You've got more space that is yours, and that allows you to be more mindful about what's going on. And you do tend to start seeing things differently. You tend to see more, on a very, very minor level, you tend to see more people who are like this maybe. You know, they've got an awful lot, they're living so much in the past that, you know, their present is just influenced too much by what the past is. Or you've got people that will go far the other way. You know, they're allowing the everything to sort of is going to be better in the future, but their present state is so minute. You know, they're just not giving themselves space to think. You become very aware of people that are like that. So anyway, thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to see you again soon in another one.